Second video on how the universe got started. Watch my previous video as I totally rule out an almighty being, which with basically we've got the proof to prove that that's not the case. So that just leaves, after 40 years of research, an alien race on their own planet created a device similar to our Hadron Collider, which created a mini universe. And we're probably going to end up doing that ourselves, so don't think it's too far-fetched. And in that mini universe was us, so that's how we started from a big bang. Now, it's possible that some people believe that we're in a simulation, etc. Now, these ancient temples here, or not even temple buildings, supposedly, according to the locals, if you hum a certain tune, you can actually leave here through this doorway and end up in the place where the other aliens that actually created our universe are. That is how I believe the universe was created. Is this a carving of a dinosaur next to an elephant on an ancient Indian temple? Well, this gentleman here, who I highly recommend you should follow on YouTube, he's really good at looking at ancient buildings in India and finding things that people don't want to talk about. He's the person, one of the people that found the guns on ancient temples, which is quite amazing. So the question is this a dinosaur? Because obviously dinosaurs supposedly died out 65 million years ago. Well, according to the Ica stones, no, they didn't all die out. And according to the Cambro figurines in different location, again, I have debunked anyone that has tried to debunk these. So I've watched my previous videos, you'll see that I point out exactly where and why I'm right. And of course then you've also got the human footprints with dinosaur footprints. So could this really have been a dinosaur? If you're interested, I can tell you how long it could have took for the alien race to build the pyramid, the Great Pyramid. Now they're the Anunnaki, also known as the race Elohim. The reason why they built the Great Pyramid, if you watched my videos before, is because it was a light beacon that went up into space to help the other Anunnaki when they came back round to know that they'd moved from their normal position because of the Great Flood, that they couldn't go back there, so they set up a base fairly near here in Egypt to start with. So the maximum time it could have took them would have been 3,600 years, and that's because they collected the gold, that the Anunnaki collected the gold every time they came round near. So they would have had to have built this pyramid for the light within 3,600 years, so that the next time the Anunnaki came round, they would know where they are. Here's something amazing you may not have heard before about ancient aliens, and this is to do with the Anunnaki who were in Mesopotamia. They had a spaceport, I think it was Sapur. And that spaceport made me wonder why they didn't have a spaceport down in South Africa where they were mining for gold. Why take the gold all the way up here and then have a spaceport there? Didn't make sense. Until I was listening to Josh Reeves on Coast to Coast. If you're interested, that's the pause it and play it back. That's the video audio that I was listening to. And he'd been studying rocks, the massive types that we can't even cut today and lift, and he says that those have a certain energy, piezoelectricity coming through them. So I'm wondering whether or not only here in Sapur could the energy from the earth create electricity through the stones to power the electricity on their craft. Otherwise it would be... My opinion on this guy that supposedly opened the portal and then advertised it on social media so that the government could come after him, yeah, great idea, not so much. And as someone that has done CGI for the last 20 odd years at least, I would say that was used something similar to After Effects. Now, if you notice, the background is about 6 foot high. In other words, the location that he's chosen to be the other place outside the portal just happens to be the same height as someone with a camera that would have took the footage in the first place. So, you know, if it was pointing down at a different angle or anything other than just normal head height, I would have thought, interesting, but of course it's not. So there's my take on it.
Psychologists and Native American Indians.
That's right.
They both got something in common, and that is
This person's talking about native Indians actually seeing the moon being dragged into position, which I have a problem with because, first of all, when you look at the moon and the tides that it brings, you can see quite clearly that that's how life would have started. Stagnant water on Earth wouldn't have created the life that we've got now. We would have needed some sort of tide, which would have dated back more than the 25,000 years that the Native Americans had supposedly seen it. Now also there's no written record, it's just verbal, and as you know, with native traditions you end up with all sorts of weird things that they say. Not saying they're all wrong, but they do end up with some weird things. Now we've got ancient texts that talk about the moon over and over, and even up to 450 odd thousand years ago when the Anunnaki first came here, they mentioned the moon. So I don't think the moon was dragged here.
The Nikola Tesla was brought to Earth as a baby from Venus.
Please don't think I'm knocking this guy that's doing the video. He's just talking about declassified, supposedly CIA documents that says Nikola Tesla was brought here as a baby from Venus. Now, the problem I've got with that is, he went to a different country, so he was... obviously his mother and father would probably disagree that he came from Venus. I've looked into Nikola Tesla quite a lot, and if he didn't go, yes, he was a smart kid, not saying he wasn't, but if he didn't go to America and meet Edison and work for Edison and work very hard in Edison's factory and learn a lot more, he would just be another person. So what... Did you see what I'm saying? There's no logic in him being from Venus, because if one circumstance where he didn't leave for America, he would just be a nobody. It wouldn't have affected us. And to be fair, although he did do some amazing things, he worked very hard at it, just like a lot of people do now. So that's my take on it. What's your take? Do you think he's from Venus and was destined to meet Edison and destined to do everything, or was it just him working hard and and his mum and dad gave birth to him here on Earth? This is a fair question, and I have to do a video to answer it because it's too long to type. So this was a reply that I got on one of my videos about where I believe the universe was not created by a almighty being, because the only reference we have to an almighty being is the Bible. That's it. There's nothing else. If you'd never read the Bible, then when people are touched by God, as this person says here, which I'll read now, what then is the enlightenment that people who are touched by God experience? So I say, when I hurt myself or when I see something amazing, I say, oh, Jesus Christ. Does it mean I believe in Jesus Christ? No. Does it mean I've been brainwashed? Yes, it does. So the only reference we've got to God of any kind is a Bible. Now you take that Bible away, if we'd never had that, would people be saying they've been touched by God? No, they wouldn't, because they wouldn't even know what a God is. So what can they be experiencing then if they do have an experience? Well, let's look at the facts. Spirits are real, we know that. Anyone that's been to a decent medium knows that. Then you've got reincarnation, which has been proven by the Virginia University. Don't take my word for it, go and check it all out. If you just do your homework, then you come to the same conclusion as me. If you don't do any homework, then what you end up with is people that go, not real, fake, mysteries, myths, everything like that. So we've got spirits. Spirits are real, and spirits are the ones that can sometimes save us, can sometimes talk to us subconsciously. And then you've got the guardian spirits. Now, there's no such thing as angel. Watch my videos. Angels are just messengers. I've totally proven that in one of my later videos, so feel free to watch that. There's no one's come back and said no, you're wrong, because they can't, because I'm right. I do sound big-headed, but I have to get the point across that when people's going to reply on this one saying, oh, I'm talking crap, just go watch my videos, and if you can debunk the videos, perfect. If you can't, then I'm not really talking crap. So really, the divine experience that people have, they associate with God simply because it's been drummed into them, but really it could just be a spirit helping them out. So just bear that in mind next time you say, oh, Jesus Christ, or oh my God. I don't believe in either of them per se, but I've been drummed in to say those words. So if I have an experience, I'd probably go, oh my God, but it doesn't mean it was God. So I hope that answers your question. This is going to freak you out. I've been sent this picture of what I believe to be sort of an American Indian, native Indian. Forgive me if I say it wrong. Now, you've probably seen these type of pictures on TikTok where they show old photographs of things that, you know, paranormal or aliens or Bigfoots, etc., in these old type pictures. Well, this one is one that I've just been sent, and it is very freaky. However, I have to let you know, it was done using computer AI in about 4 seconds. So what I'm just, again, trying to say is those pictures that you see on TikTok, take with a pinch of salt, because we would have seen them originally years ago on YouTube, and we didn't. We only now see them because it's very easy to do this kind of thing on computer technology, AI. So just bear that in mind when you see all those pictures.